Hello and welcome to live editing of Wikidata again with me, Jan, Ainali and Albin. Hello, Albin. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you, Jan?
I'm so excited. There's so much news in the Wikidata world these days.
Indeed, yeah.
Yeah. We had the abstract Wikipedia for just a few weeks ago, and this week it was the Sparkle query service for structured data on Commons. So there's so
It's a
much going
small
on.
Christmas in the middle of the summer.
Yes. Well, I actually have my birthday coming up, so I'll take it personally.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm not going to go into anything of that today. Are you going to go into anything of that today?
I'm not. I'm still exploring on my own currently. I am
Yeah.
gonna do, however, some Wikilab sports. So it's currently going on. It was supposed to be during the Summer Olympics and the Paralympics, but it's still going on without them actually being done this summer.
Mm-hmm.
So gonna do some querying to see what we can do.
Yes, and that's a huge international collaboration right now in the Wikimedia movement.
Yeah.
And we'll say hello to Nicholas as well. And he also says yes.
Yeah.
WCQS is amazing and already very promising. I agree that it's going to be so.
Yeah.
We might do a special next week with structured data on Commons and
We
something
might.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's already been a lot more edits on structured data commons I've seen. Actually adding content as well. So
I got inspired.
yeah, me too. I've been just sitting now.
Yeah. So you'll be editing sports, and I'll go back into the politics again. I'm actually going to go back to something you and I were talking about. I think it was 3 years ago, 2017. We were talking about committee members in the Swedish Parliament, and there has been a lot of things going on in importing data. So in the Swedish project. So for preparing for the next step, I'm going to create public offices for the assignments. And for doing that, I'm going to try out the tool Quickstatements today. See if we get that to work. So the Quickstatements, I'm going to share my screen here. If you don't know, is this little tool. You find it from Wikidata Tools or just at quickstatements.toolforge.org. Maybe I should zoom in a little bit here so you can see it better without messing up the interface. Yeah, like that.
And this is the same tool we ended up in last week.
Yes. And we didn't explain the tool as so much. And we actually got the import from another tool. So
exactly.
what I'm going to try
to
do...
We just clicked the button, I believe.
Yes, we did. And it worked. So that was good.
It did.
And what I'm going to try to do today is actually setting up one of these from scratch, preparing it in a spreadsheet separately. And how I'm going to do that, let's see. Should I start with the... No, I should start with that. So I'm going to stop share this. Stop screen. And start sharing my spreadsheet instead. Let's see. LibreOffice. Here we go. And this is like the chef. I've already prepared most of it. So we're just going to do a few finishing touches. And we have a number of columns here. And what I did to research this is I actually just went to the Parliament website and looking up what committees do we have. And then I just listed them in one column. I started in Swedish. It turned out they also had the official English names, so that was good. But I just listed them, and I just listed them once first. And then I went through each of the committee has a page where you actually could see all the assignments you could have. So that it could be a chair, the first deputy chair, member, and such. And they actually vary a little for the committees, which made this a little bit harder. Because sometimes you don't have the second deputy chair, and sometimes you actually have a third deputy chair. So that was the first, like, these are the items that I want to create. I want to create one item for each of these. And then, of course, we need to do some labeling. So here's the label in Swedish. And what I actually just did there, as you can see in the up here, I just did a concat of the two and added an in. And for English over here, I did the same, but I added the of the. So pretty easy operation setting up the labels. I'm going to do descriptions very, very simple. It's just going to be the same on all of them. In English, it's the assignment in the Swedish riksdag. And I maybe didn't explain this properly in the beginning, but what I'm going to do then later is I'm going to cut and paste this into the window we saw, and it's going to start the. So I need a line here for each of the item I want. But just labels and descriptions, that's a little bit poor. So we want something more, of course. And let's see if I can just scroll it a little bit to the side here. There we go. And then in the top here, you see the properties. So P31, that's the instance of. It's going to be the same on all of these. It's going to be a public office. They're all going to have the P17, which is the country, and the P1001, which is the jurisdiction set to Sweden. And then the interesting one here is the subclass. So these are going to be a subclass of a chair, subclass of a deputy, or something, subclass of a substitute. So we can find them. And then the last one that are on everyone, P361, is part of. So this is a part of this committee. So that's how it's going to link to so we actually see. So that's where everything come in handy. And this one is going to say, oh, I have some left to do here. So this is appointed by, or I think, and the chairs are actually appointed by the committee itself, whereas those that are blank here, they are appointed by the Swedish riksdag, the assembly. So we're going to add the item for the Swedish riksdag here. And in the last column, we have what they are sharing on. So there's a property for that, leader of. And then in the end, we're going to see the magic here. And we're going to do some tricks with that soon. But it's,
and you're doing all of this manually?
It's a lot of copy and pasting, but yes, manually, and looking it up. And here, the last thing is just a big concat, because what we're going to do is we're going to grab these comma-separated things and paste in. So it's just formatting for the next step. So that was what I prepared from before, but we're going to do a few operations here before we actually start with the pressing play on the import. So first we're going to add, no, we're not going to start there. I'm going to switch back here because there's a query I need to make. Because what you don't want to do when you do this, you don't want to create duplicate items. So we need to check if there's already some of these items in Wikidata. And it happens to be, I know there are some, because I created some like a year or two ago to try it out to see how the modeling would work. So let's see if we can find them. So I'm going to stop sharing my spreadsheet here and go back to to the query service. And we'll have that over here. Boom. Works better if I press the actual tab. There we go. Query service. And you all seen this a couple of times here. So I'm going to start with writing select and press Control Enter to get the autocomplete. Select this one for the basic syntax. I know I'm going to query for, I'm just going to call it an item. And I'm going to want the item label as well, so I can actually read and see what it is. So I want a label. I'm going to start writing service to get this fancy thing that actually provides me the label. I think my browser is in another language, so I'm going to remove this. I'm going to have English and fall back to Swedish. These are the languages it starts listing. So I'll query for an item. Press enter there. I want this to be an instance of, which is P31, and public office. Let's see if I, oh no, there's too much public office. There we have it. And I use this trick with this semicolon to still querying for items. I want this to be, let's try this first. Let's see if I go for country and Sweden. Just like that, see what we get. You cannot use capital W's. 61 hits. We got some ministers, some governors, prime ministers. Looks good. Lots of governors of the counties. Oh, and here we see something. Here we have the members of the committees and some substitutes, which probably manually going to be changed to deputies later, because that's what the term that the Riksdag is using. So this looks quite good. We found there's 6 here. What if, let's check something more. What if it wasn't country, but jurisdiction? Let's see that. 77 instead. That's a few more.
All right.
Let's see if someone else turns up here. We have the members and the substitutes, still 6 here. Deputy minister. No. All right. So that looks pretty good. Well, I'm going to try also. Let's see. Someone might have forgotten the country, but added the committee. So I'm going to try to go with E361, which is part of this committee. And then, the committee should be an instance of, I'm going to try to guess this in Swedish and see if we get any hits. Riksdagsut Parliamentary Committee, disambiguation. It's going to be this one, yes. So this one is going to query for a public office that is a committee, and the committee is going to be part of the Riksdags committees. Let's try that. And 6 again. So these are the 6 that we're not going to make duplicates of. I'm just going to take a look at one of them, see how they look. fairly basic. And now let's see if we can do this. So I'm going to remove these 6 from my spreadsheet. So I'll switch again to my spreadsheet. Oh, nope, there. Here it is. There we go. And now I'll have this in a separate window over here. So I had the member of the Committee of Finance. That's going to be the member Committee of Finance. This row is going to go away. Delete. And the member of the Committee of Foreign Affairs, that's going to be far down. That's the one. Committee of Foreign Affairs members. Delete that row. And then also the deputy member of the Foreign Affairs. Let's delete that one. The deputy of taxation should be somewhere here. Deputy member of taxation. Delete that row. Deputy member of social insurance. That's the 5th one. And the last, defense. And that's also the deputy member. That's the one. All right. So now I made sure that we don't have any duplicates.
Could there also be a point in checking Wikipedia categories for this, in case they wouldn't have any valid statements for this case? So if there is an article on the Swedish Wikipedia, it might be in a category, and you might find more Wikidata items that way. I'm not sure if it applies this time, but it's in
It
general.
might be. Let me just do a quick check to see. So I don't think any of the offices have, none of them that I already made had a site link.
Right.
So none of those 6 that we just saw.
Okay. Because usually that's also an additional way one can check for duplicates in case there are plenty of Wikidata items which doesn't have any statements at all, so to say.
Exactly.
So it's a good way to find them.
If they're completely empty. Yes. And I when I did my research, I thought that it was harder to actually find all the committees from Wikipedia. So it was actually easier to use the Parliament website itself for it, which is often unusual. It's often the other way around.
Which relates to a question we just got here. Are these all described on a common web page or reference source?
No, not individually, unfortunately. So I wanted to have something to point an URL from each of these, but I couldn't find anything. So they're all in one. They're not even described as such, but they're just values on the members themselves.
Right.
But back here, so we had this still this column that we're going to fill in here. And all these empty ones are going to get the value for Swedish Riksdag. So let's see if I can paste it here. Then unfortunately, LibreOffice is not that well. I could resort this. I will probably resort this anyway soon for another reason. But these aren't too many, so I'm just going to do a quick Control V operation here. So this was sort of my preparation for this yesterday. Oh, here's a lot of things. I wonder if I didn't get further. Yes, this is. Oh, so this is wrong now. go back up until here. Because here we're going to have the deputy. So let's go from the back here. I'm going to zoom out a little bit too, so I can see a little bit more in the same. It's going to be hard for you to see, but I'm just going to, I want to be able to see that field, yes. So there we're going to add it, there we're going to add it. Remember, we're not going to add it for the other ones. Chairs and the deputies, they are going to get the value of the, that's it. So they're just going to get this one copied over here because they are appointed by the committee themselves. On the first day they meet, they have this internal election to appoint these roles. All right. So now that one is also prepared. So I'm going to zoom in again so that you can see a little bit better. Oh, maybe that's too much. Let's see. Well, let's go over here. So now this is the, I'm going to make this a little bit wider. Let's see if I can make it wide enough. Because this is the interesting cells now, the interesting column. So we have this column, and as you can see, it has L for label, and SV for Swedish, D for description, SV for Swedish, and then for English. So we have the Swedish label, the Swedish description, the English label, the English description, and they just come separated. And underneath that, it's just the other columns also concatenated in a similar way. And let's see if we can see. It goes out too far in the right. Yeah, cannot see the entire thing. So now I'm just going to grab this and copy it all the way down. Now I'm going to see the end. I'm going to guess it's there. Oh, one too many. A lot of text. And then I'm just going to copy everything of that. A big Control-C. And I'm going to switch back to our window with the... Did I accidentally close that one? No. Didn't. There we go. So now we're back into quick statements. And now I'm just going to paste here. And we get all of this. And now there's a little bit of a thing that I need to do here before actually trying to import it. I need to specify the first column as well. And it's going to be the QID. And I did it this way just so I can drag everything and copy the column all the way. Because if you leave the first one empty, that's the secret code for, or it's not secret, it's well documented. It's how you make sure you create a new item. So you leave the QID empty there.
Right.
Let's see. So now I'm just going to try to import and see if it understands what I just pasted. And there it creates a lot of items. '83, which seems correct. But it seems like there's too few
statements.
Yes. So why is that? Errors? 0 errors? Can I see all 100 here? All 83? So it seems to make the instance of public office correct. And these Swedish, English, that seems fine as well. Can I spot anything in my... Aha, yes, all right. So I'm going to switch back so you can see my error. Stop sharing there. Share screen. Go back to here. So you can see my it doesn't even have the other things here. So there's something wrong with my... Aha, you can even see it here in my concatenate. This one only go to I2, whereas this goes much farther. So I'm going to grab this one and see if it... Way! Much better. And I'm going to copy that and go back to the quick statements again. A lot of switching windows here. And that's not the button. I've tried that before. Share screen. Find the quick statements and share. How do I do now? Can I go back somewhere here?
Reload, maybe?
Share, reload. Maybe just new batch.
That's
I don't
correct.
need to save this. Yeah, let's just do a new one. No new? Reload. Yay! Good. Paste. And now we also see the values there. Add this little QID again. And import. Yay!
That looks a lot better.
That looks a lot better. Oh! Oh, yes. So we had organization directed, the empty ones. He didn't like that. I was worried that was going to be the case.
Would it do something or would it skip it?
I don't know. Let's see if there's something error in the bottom. If I switch to the error here, no. Well, this might be after. So hopefully it just writes everything else and skips this.
Yeah.
Should I try that? I guess I should.
Would
Let's see.
you already here want to add some type of source to all of them?
Possibly.
Yeah. We
And
have a suggestion here to
described
use
by source.
exactly, which I imagine could be uh, the website where they are
Does
mentioned,
does the website have?
an
Because
item.
that's going to be an item.
Yeah. And especially for websites, this is not necessarily super easy because websites changes. One might need a point in time or something like that, or use described by URL. But I don't think that's possible in this case.
No. I don't think there's. We have it for the database, but that's not where I got the data. I guess the data is there as well. No, I don't need to guess. I know the data is there as well. I just didn't look there. But they use the same data on the website. So we could use this.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Good help, Paul. Thank you. But I think we're already at like 30 minutes. So I'm going to do it like this. I'm not going to press play here because that was an excellent suggestion. But as you have already seen, like sort of my method, what I will do now is that I will go back to the spreadsheet again, add a new column, add that value. I also need to figure out how to say things are sources. Well, I don't even know that yet. So I'll probably have to learn that till next time. But if I were to import this now, as we saw in the last episode, you just hit the run button here in the bottom. And I should stop this annoying banner here. This run button in the bottom here. But I'm not going to do that now because that's an excellent suggestion. I'm going to try to figure out how to add the references and before actually pressing play here.
Okay.
All right. So I'll have some homework to do and I'll pass it over to you.
Thank you very much. And I am going to do some editing for Wikilab Sports, which is currently ongoing. We didn't get the Olympics this summer, but we still got to do some editing. So I actually went into this without really knowing what to edit. It's mainly focused on the Olympics and the Paralympic Games, which my favorite sports aren't a part of. But I thought we would do some exploration of what's actually in here and what we could possibly edit. So they have this page on articles that are relevant. And you can see this long list they have here, and it just happens to be powered by Spark query. So I decided to take this and change it slightly. So we got something like this. We are selecting items which participated in, and then we give it the various main items for the Olympic Games. So there's a kind of generic. This is just Olympic Games. This is just Summer Olympic Games, and so on. While we also in Wikidata has items for, I think, all of them actually, or most of them.
Probably,
So
yeah.
So I thought this would be a good task to play around with to begin with to see if we can track some of this down. So for this query,
and I don't
all of
think we
them
have
were
used
generic.
the values command before on stream.
Oh, we might not have.
No, I think that's new.
So it's super useful for various things. Here it's used for essentially allowing a variable to have multiple values. So it's more of an array or a list in this case, which allows us to, instead of writing a very long OR query here, we can just write this like this. Super useful. We got some additional things here. We're selecting all site links because I want them counted. We are asking for it to be human. I'm actually gonna try to do minus on this one later. See if we got participants in the Olympic Games which aren't humans. I don't think so, but let's see. Or maybe they got things like actual
Maybe.
animals which are part
Yes,
of
the
couple of
horses or
sports.
something like that.
Yeah,
Or
exactly. I didn't think of that. I also got this image here. It's just kept from a phone from the query I used as an origin. But essentially, both of this and the wiki-based site links are optional. So let's see if it does something. I'm gonna remove the item label. I don't really like item labels for exploratory work like this. Um, it helps me to avoid some thoughts I might have about what I want to do before I go ahead. And I'm gonna order them by the amount of site links they have. This is because we're essentially gonna do some cleaning work here. Like we have this item here, which is just participated in the Olympic Games, Summer Olympic Games, I assume that is. But that's not the case. Of course, Henry Taylor here participated in a particular one. So from the United Kingdom, a rally driver, right? Member of sports team, right? Sport, auto racing, rallying, Olympic Games, sport. Oh, Bob.
yeah, I was gonna
Right.
say rally is not part of the Olympics, and the image was a bobsleigh. So
Is
he
it? It
was
looks like a
multi-talented.
car. Is it a car in the bobsled
It looks
run?
like that. Oh,
Oh yeah, this is a
driving a
person
Ford
driving
in
a
on
car
bobsleigh
on a
run.
bobsled run.
Daredevil.
Indeed, that's never seen that before.
No,
Okay, so participated in the Olympic Games, sports bobsled, but which Olympic Games? Let's see, Wikipedia. We got the English Wikipedia article here. Let's see. I'm just gonna search. After retiring from rallying, he became for manager. He also drove the British Olympic bobsled team. No, no year there.
he had a source.
Yes, it had a source. That's very true. Okay, but it's a
Ah,
book. Um, okay, we might not be able to do this one. There is no category or things like that that might indicate it. Okay, no, I don't think we will be able to do that one without doing some proper research. I'm gonna check. See, we got a Swedish one as well. Let's try that. No, I'm afraid it doesn't even mention the Olympics.
no.
Okay, that no success on the first one. Let's see the next one. 12 site links. All right, we're not gonna be able to do this one. Um, oh,
Uh,
let's see just how it states it. Participate in Olympic Games. Participated in. Oh, this is interesting. So this is actually about the modern Olympic Games, started in 1896. So it's not totally correct. Mm, I'm still gonna leave it like that.
mhm.
I don't know what the actual item for the Asian Olympics would be. Let's take the another one. And yeah, this is the Paralympics
All
then.
right.
Um, Here we got this actually summer 2012 Paralympics, Paralympic Games. Let's see. We got a great source here as well, an official one. Let's see if he did it more than 1 year. 2012, at least medals only in 12. Let's also check the Wikipedia article. Yeah, an English one. 2012. Tennis career, 2012. Oh, no, only 2012. Okay,
Yep.
then I actually gonna do just some cleanup.
Mm-hmm.
Removing this. We didn't need to track down an additional year. That's great. Let's see, we're gonna do at least another one with this query before we might try some other things. Same country. Let's see. Yeah, here we actually only got participant in the Paralympic Games.
Mm-hmm.
So here we got some work to do. But we still got this official source.
Ooh,
And
and two at
2012
least.
and 2016. So I'm gonna keep that reference URL. 2012, right? I
I think it
wonder.
starts with it. Starts with the
2012,
year.
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh-huh.
No, right. I'm gonna search Wikipedia. Paralympics 2012. Track down the Wikidata item this way. Right, of course. Let's see. That was not the right one. I should really close my tabs when I'm done with them. 2012 Summer Paralympics.
Oh, I saw something else you could
URL.
add for a previous one.
Okay.
Because the tennis player he had there, it said in his article that he got to carry the. No, that was the flag in the end. No, I saw there was an item for the torch, but I confused the torch with the flag.
Right. Here I did the classic one, added the reference as a qualifier. Not the first time and definitely not last time in my case. So I'm gonna update it, and we also had the 2016. Double checking, yes. And add value. Summer Paralympics 2016. Add reference. Reference URL the same. Publishing it. No, actually removing this first one as we have better ones. I'm actually gonna edit this one as well because retrieved is super easy to add because it fills in today's date by itself. Let's see this one as well. My bad, not doing it from the beginning. And publish. Something like that. Let's see. I'm gonna take another look. I can't resist. I can't resist looking at the notoriety. It might need cleanup. Still Israeli. I see a pattern here. At lots of sports as well. And many Paralympics. Let's see if it's all of them and we can remove the generic one. 88, 76, 72, 68, 64. 64, 72, 76, 68, 88. All of them. Can remove the generic one. Okay. I feel done with this query for this time. I'm actually gonna save this to my bookmarks because I might do more with Wikilab Sports. Let's see if we can. How many did we get here? We got 30 results. I'm gonna go back to this one. This has a very interesting one because it also have a list of the 5 most recent Olympic Games. I got some generic there. I want to have these ones. The more specific ones for the last 5 years, I believe. And I want to have a look at this because I really want to see first if we have ones that aren't humans in the last 5 years, but also I want to do some statistics and visualization here in VDQs for what sports people are doing. Oh, we got a lot of
Oh,
results here. 45,000 results. Yeah, I imagine there are a lot of football players in a team, so to say. Adds up quickly. Let's see here then. We're gonna see if we have ones that aren't humans. Minus with this type of wings. And let's run it. I'm hoping for something exciting here.
can we have some fictional humans?
Oh, right, we could have some fictional humans as well. But maybe
Ooh,
not in the specific ones. But we got a lot
almost
of results
2,000.
here. Here labels would actually be useful. We got the football teams. I This is
Of
slightly
course.
disappointing.
Yeah, all the
Of course, we
teams.
got teams as well. Okay. I have a few more random ones here. We got countries I can see up in my tabs. Yeah, we got into a country participated in. Yes, 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 yes. That one we were just editing. Okay. I must admit that I'm slightly disappointed. And we got flag of Israel. Yeah.
If you just go to image grid now, will it
Yeah.
float all the images to the top? And maybe we can
I
spot
think
a
so.
horse?
Indeed. We really want that horse. Here we have what looks like a person that might not have the human one. Teams, countries. This one I'm a little. Did I use the commons image? That was not what I wanted. So I want the lower one. Here as well. Hello, countries. More flags. Okay, no horse to begin with. Okay, so this is the image for Spain at the Olympic Games. Okay,
All right.
and this is for
A
the chess room.
little bit odd.
Okay, a little bit odd. I am gonna stick to humans then, but I also want to select sport. And I don't want to do it optional because I want to make this a bubble chart actually. For those of you who haven't seen it, it's a very neat thing here in Wikidata. The Wikidata query service. I imagine it's also in the Wikimedia Commons query service. And here, control space, sport. I actually don't know it in my head. I want to select it up here. I also want to do sport label. So I type that and we'll add the service here. Again, autocomplete. I actually want to switch this around. I want to default to English, which I think it does anyway, but I tend to do it that way for some reason. Let's see what we get here. So it takes a while, but it seems to be up to date today.
Just a minute.
Yeah. Oh, so quite a lot of them have sport then.
Almost
Almost all
everyone,
of
I
them.
guess. Yeah.
Association football, tennis, right. Let's see now how this is usually done. So if I go to bubble chart, will it default to something?
To the number?
Right. Or, whoops. Did
Is trying to render 45,000 bubbles.
Yeah, this might not have been a great idea.
Because now I think that
Oh,
it did something.
it worked.
Ooh.
But I wonder what. Yeah,
So the biggest bubble is the one with most site links, I guess. And then the bubbles are smaller and smaller.
Now, I wonder what it actually made bubbles for.
Try clicking something in the middle.
Oh, they are clickable. Right. They
Yes.
made bubbles for each person.
Yes, because you
And the
didn't group
size.
it
Yeah,
by
right.
sport.
I can actually.
So I think it took the value from link count there and made the bubble
Yeah.
size.
Let's group it by sport. It should also render quicker, I imagine. And I gonna. Let's see, my browser. I must imagine. It got kind of slow by this for some reason. Let's also clean this up here to give it a little more speed because we want it cache anyway. I actually don't need the item either.
Do you want to do a count here then?
Yeah, I actually want to aggregate by sport. But I wonder if the bubble service just manage it like this. And I don't want to select this thing, then I need the item as well. Would it work if I just reorder it? Something like that? Would that work? Group by sport. Sport is the first one. Imagine that you do it. Let's see here. Bad aggregate. Right. Sport label.
I think that's going to give you the same number of lines. Because item is the participant. No? What are the items?
The item would be the participant, but I added it last, so it would. I only kept this to keep it distinct.
You got it fewer because I guess some of them participated in several Olympics.
Right. Um, I of course want to do something like this. Select distinct. Something like this as count. I want to wrap that. Let's call it that. Whoops. I have no idea how to use this bubble chart. You're seeing me try and fail here. There is documentation, but yeah. And then I wouldn't need that anymore. I wouldn't need distinct anymore. I'm gonna keep the label there. No need to select the sport itself. Something like that, maybe. And chord count. Isn't that how I do it?
I think it's you start with the count and then as SC.
Right,
Yeah.
of course. Of course.
Ooh.
Right.
All right. That's going to be something.
That should be something, exactly. And then go to the bubble chart. Oh, right.
That's
No,
what
it
you
was what I
wanted.
wanted.
Yes.
Yeah, it took a while today.
Well, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Athletics, association football, I believe. Canoeing is wondering. I wonder, this would be very interesting to compare to some official statistics
Mm-hmm.
and see how much it differs.
Mm-hmm.
Is this like a perfect task for someone that would want to participate in Wiki Love Sports? For example, I wonder if the team sport shouldn't be larger. And there is actually like team members who doesn't have a Wikidata I team or doesn't have it. They mentioned that participated in.
Possibly, yes.
But otherwise, yeah.
But I guess athletics is because there's so many different things going into athletics.
Yeah.
Because you don't have, well, you do have track, but that might be something else. But otherwise, I think you have all the distances for running and sprinting and going into athletics.
Indeed, that's very often. I guess this is something that one could work on because I imagine one could get it more specific for all of this. I imagine there are a lot of ones which has just run at 3,000 meter, 10,000 meter, and so on, which I imagine would also have Wikidata items.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not however sure that they wouldn't actually be sport when I'm thinking of it. We also here got discipline.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
10,000 meter, for example, would be discipline in
Yes.
athletic.
Yeah.
So this might not be a very good representation of things.
Still beautiful. And
Yeah,
I
indeed.
think the trick for the bubble chart is you need to feed it a number, which is
Yeah.
the size of the bubble. And in the first one, it actually recognized, hey, I have the site link number. I'll use that. And you get
Yeah.
Ronaldo and Lionel Messi in the middle there.
Yeah. So what we ended up with were a number and a label, essentially.
Yep.
And that did the trick. I don't think ordering them does any difference here.
No, only for the table view, I guess.
Only for the table view, right? I also think it actually impacts things like image grid.
Yeah.
And I know it impacts some of the charts. I remember we played around with the graph builder and it had an impact, but yeah. So this, for someone who knows where to get official stats. Actually, here we, for example, got 10,000 meters, which isn't a sport but a discipline.
So there's something we could correct probably, because
Yeah,
there's only 2 as well.
yeah,
And you have
exactly. 800
6 of the high
meters.
jumps there as well.
Yeah, 800 meters, similar.
Mm-hmm.
100
Yeah,
meters.
if you order these by ascending, you will see all the odd cases first.
Yeah, so order by ask, and ask is a function, I believe.
Yep.
Let's run that. It should be rather quick. Rather quick.
It should be.
Yeah, I mean, it's rather impressive that it
Yes.
does what it does anyway.
Yeah.
So, ultra trail, is that in the Olympics nowadays?
I don't know. Possibly not,
la-
since it's just one.
Laser.
Yeah, that's wrong.
But mountain bike racing is just one participant. Sounds like there should be more.
Yeah, it might be mountain biking, which and
Exactly.
then
I
racing
also
is
those feels
a
like
discipline.
racing shouldn't
Yeah.
be there. But we can also see trail running here. And here, Women Association Football, only one human. English boxing.
That might
Right.
have been Olympics back in the days.
Indeed. Some sports have
Ice
not
sailing
only
has.
there's been a lot of discussions about which sport should be included in Olympics, but of
Yeah.
course they also remove sports. Something less discussed. I wonder what there is or that doesn't have an English label even. Paralympic sport, it only says.
But if you show all the languages,
Right.
here we have a sailor with us. Laser is a sailing discipline.
Right. Interesting.
And that's all right. Yep.
Could need some work.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is actually
There's
great
some
work to
ideas.
just find things to work on. So yeah, Formula One. Oh, actually, this is not necessarily. So someone who participated in the Olympics or the Paralympics might
Yeah.
also have ultra sports, of course, which
Yes.
they didn't do this time. So actually, there is you can actually use the sport property as a qualifier on participated in. So we can say participated in the
Yes.
Winter Olympics 2018,
Yes. I like
sport,
that.
and so on. But I
Because
imagine that's not
we also
incredibly
have
common.
these some of the it's not very unusual for sprinters to switch to long jumps
Yeah,
from one Olympic to another. Yeah, we have another sailor here with us. Hackspet knows Laser is sailing.
right.
But I still think it's a discipline. So for sport, it shouldn't be there. We should have sailing.
Yeah, it should.
Yep.
I imagine this. I think we have showcased it once previously, but this sport property, it's used for just about everything, as qualifiers, as properties for teams, for humans, for clubs, for locations, for example, for an arena,
Hmm.
which makes it very useful, but also slightly tricky to model.
Mm.
But yeah,
Yep.
so here
Yep.
are this were essentially some ideas what one can do for Wiki Love Sports, which is, I believe, ongoing to September. So plenty of time to
Should we
experiment.
share this query?
Yeah, I'm gonna share both of the queries. I have
Yep.
bookmarked them,
Yep. If
so
you
they should.
share them in the comments here, they'll go out immediately.
Short URL failed. I think the queries might be too long to do
Ah,
short queries.
yes.
Um,
That's too much explanation text. Helpful,
yeah,
but yeah.
let's see. Yeah, I think I'm gonna share
Yep.
them somewhere around the official content page at least.
Hmm.
Um, for Wiki Love Sports, if anyone wanna reuse them. But yeah, hopefully someone
Cool.
got inspired.
Yep. And I got some homework, so I'm gonna learn how to do the references and before I start uploading.
Yeah,
All right.
and the next time maybe some structured data and commons then I imagine.
I think we can promise that.
Yeah, I think we
Next time
can.
we're going to do
Then,
some
then we got
structured data
to
on commons. So if you
play
want to
around a
see
little
that,
at home.
yeah, tune in next
Yeah.
time. We're going to see, I think we're both going to try out some queries and also some show off some of the tools for mass editing.
Right. Yeah, we will.
Yep. Bulk editing or something like that. Yep. All right.
Indeed. Thank you very much then.
Thank you. And until next time.
Until next time.